What's up, Wolfpack? Um, Once again, I was way too terrified to film at the gym. Um, I personally, I really don't know when I'll be comfortable. You know, if you have watched more than just one video, or if you watch the right videos, you'll know that I struggle from being fearful um, with the things I pursue. But I'm really trying my best, so hopefully there'll be gym content soon. But that's besides what I wanted to talk about today. What I really wanted to talk about today, which, once again, I have a script here, so I'm going to be looking over. Um, the thing I want to talk about today was, what would your parents think? Now, when I say that, just stand alone, no context. You might not know what I'm talking about, but this is something that was taught to me last semester of my first year of college, and I really think it is a good way to look at things. And the whole point that it gets at is your parents are the most valuable thing in your life, as they are the only things that can love you unconditionally. You know, a partner, they have a reason to love you. Whether, you know, they see a future down the line for you or for other reasons, they still love you for a reason. Your parents don't need a reason for that. They could they are the reason you are in this world. So they are required to build you up and show you their life in a sense. But if you are faced with some ethical uncertainty or a guilty conscience, I think, or I believe, I heard that I believe seems a bit more confident. I believe that you should ask yourself, would your parents be okay with that? Now, what I think, or what I believe you should do is think of your favorite parent right now. You probably have one. If you're lying if you don't, unless you're like really, I guess. Actually, I don't know. That's a thing of uncertainty right there. But you probably have a favorite parent. So think of them first. If they say, here, I'll guess I'll just give a hypothetical. Let's say I told my parents I didn't record at the gym. Would they be happy with that, or would they be mad about that? Now, you may need to think, outside of just yes and no. Like for the same example, it really depends on what I'm doing at the gym and what my goals are in life. If my parents know that I want to be a successful creator, they'll probably be pretty mad that I'm not recording. Because if I don't record, I'm not pushing myself to be that successful creator that I want to be. But let's say it's something more like weed or any kind of drug, maybe alcohol. It might be a little easier. The overall goal of this idea is that most people would think that their parents know best. Whether, you know, it's be based on what they've done in life or just their overall longevity in life. A lot of people have the mindset that there are the older people the people who are more experienced with the thing that people are seeking advice, the better they are. For one thing that I could think of that kind of perfectly proves this is I want to say they're called signposts. I used to do them a bunch in English class, but they're signposts, and one of them is called the Words of the Wiser. And the whole idea is that you quote the book because the protagonist or some kind of character will meet up with an older character, or and they will give a I guess just wise words. But if you have a poor relationship with your parents, or none at all, first of all, I feel sorry for you, because it is a very difficult task. As me, I am someone who has a very poor relationship with my dad. For people who don't know, my dad stopped, or I stopped seeing my dad around, I want to say 14 or 15. It was when I was in 8th grade. So I have had very little contact with him. I've been trying to mend the relationship recently, but there was a good 4 to almost 5 years where I didn't talk to my dad at all. And it really is a struggle in a sense. You know, you might not feel it at first. Maybe you do. I know I didn't know the effects when I first, noticed. But over time, you really do notice it. Like, for one thing, I mean, I could be wrong, but I believe that if I had a continuous good relationship with my dad, which I believe I did before all this happened, I think I would be a bit more of a social person. My dad kind of got me out of my comfort zone. Like, I remember I used to hate on him for having me go outside or ride my bike. But looking back at it, I think it was a very valuable thing. Even if to him, it wasn't meant to be a valuable thing, rather just get me outside. It still was a very valuable thing, and I think it had a great life lesson of you really should do things that you don't want to do. But that's besides what I'm trying to talk about. Let's get back into. I just went on a big ramble there. Sorry, guys. But let's get back on the idea of what would your parents think if you don't have a relationship or a good relationship with your parents. I think you should put yourself in the shoes of your own kid, whether you have one or not. If you don't have one, just imagine you do have a kid. Would you be happy as a parent if your kid told you that they were going to do the thing that you're considering doing? And I personally think that when it comes to people when people love other people, they will think of what's best for the person. So, if you are the parent in this scenario, you would most likely want what's best for your kid. Your kid is, in a sense, a mini version of you, because you are guiding them through life. You are showing them that you have a path that you got to be where you are, and you want to show them that path, and you hope that they grow from that path into an even better version of yourself as time goes on. So, I think, I believe, I got to use that more often, I guess. I believe that if you are faced with something like that, you really should consider yourself either as a parent or consider your parents, and if they would really be happy with your decision. Now, with that being said, this isn't foolproof. I think in the present moment, it's pretty easy. For most of the time, it would probably work. I did like a 5-minute think of where it wouldn't work, and I couldn't really think of anything. But what I think you should do is then consider the future. So let's say you tell your parents, hey, I'm going to start a business, but it's going to cost $8,000 to start this business up for whatever costs. Your parents might at first be like, really, $8,000? You could probably save that or something like that. They would try and avoid it because of how much of a high upfront cost it has. Now, with that being said, if you look in the future, you could consider, hey, what's the ROI on businesses like these? What is the amount of effort I need to put into this? And am I willing to put in the amount of effort? That is when you use your own logical conscience and your own idea, whether you believe you will be able to do that or not. An example I could think of that I have kind of gone through, it's not the best example, but once again, 5 minutes of reflection, this is the best idea I could think of. Back probably like two, maybe 3 years ago, I used to dress like my favorite artists because the people I looked up to outside of my family were people who made music. Tyler, the Creator, Steve Lacy, people like that. I thought they had a very strong sense of themselves and were willing to flaunt it. So I kind of dressed I dressed with them in mind, if that makes sense. I would think, oh, what if I was this person, what would I wear? But you should really be focusing on yourself. And that's where I've gotten the entire I got today. People in fashion would say that you have more swag or more you have a much better fashion if you are dressing for yourself rather than for others or with thought of others. Which there is a line in a Tyler the Creator song, which I'm gonna actually look up right now in the moment. It's on the song Rusty. It's like something that no, I'm gonna look. You guys are gonna see me look at my phone for a few seconds because I don't feel like doing a jump cut. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't find it. The bar that I thought was there, I could not find. Maybe if I find it through editing, I'll do a jump cut of and I'll like show a picture of the bar. But with that being said, I sorry for all the ums, by the way. I used to dress with them in mind, with the idea that if I dressed like them, I would look cooler. But really, your own fashion is what makes you unique and what makes you as an individual. With which now, I mean, I kind of wear some basic stuff. I'm not the biggest into fashion. I wear what I want to wear and what's probably most comfortable for me. And that's something that, a lot of people will hear their parents be like, oh, you look homeless. Like, I know my mom would say that all the time, which I think a lot of people are actually excited if their parents say you look homeless. Because, I mean, I remember seeing an Instagram reel being like, the fit's fire when your parents say you look homeless. But that's kind of the idea, is that certain things change with time, and what's with something that might look bad in the present moment, it may be exponentially great than not doing it at all. And I had a word in mind, I just forgot it, but I got it. It's a sense of delayed gratification. You're not going to see instant results at the gym if you bench whatever your PR is. If you look at some science, most science will tell you that you actually grow within your recovery, which is why people really, really kind of nail you in the head that you should be recovering as much as or well, not as much, but you should recover a good amount of time. And if you don't have a recovery, you're missing out on gains. Now, let me get back to my points here. This is actually my final point. Please use this way to start critical thinking and continue what's best for you or society's future. So let's go back to that business idea, that $8,000. If you recognize, hey, the ROI, I'm most likely going to get $10,000 in a year's time if I sit down, put all my effort in, and scale this business how I want to scale it, then the ROI is greater. You just have to wait that year. I guess in a sense, it's like interest or an investment. I mean, that's what ROI stands for at the end of the day, return on investment. So please use this for your critical thinking skills, which some people might not think they have it, but you definitely have it. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Quote of the day, which is not my quote, but I think it's a really, really good quote, and I think it's also funny. You know, if you want to be ballin', you have to be all in. Not my quote, by the way. So, I actually don't know who said the quote, but I think it's a really tough quote. I think it has some good meaning behind it. Please subscribe. Right now, I have $11 in my bank account, and if I get 1,000 subscribers, I make money off ad revenue. So, do that, and love yourself, achieve your goals, and hopefully I'll post a gym video tomorrow. I'll see you guys.